Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building. She's back. Miss Kathy Griffin. Welcome back.
Yes,
Kathy, what's happening?
Very excited.
She got a new movie out, Hell of a Story.
Hell of a story.
A feature film.
Feature
a
film?
docu-comedy.
Yes.
That's
I
right.
felt so bad for you watching
Did
that.
you watch it?
I almost teared a little
Oh
bit.
my God,
Like
thank
they were really
you.
effing you up.
Honey, it's raw. It
Yeah.
is like ugly, no makeup Kathy crying. So the first third is straight up documentary, like iPhone, and then the second 2/3 are comedy concert. But it is, there's a little meat on the bone. It's not, it's funny. Hopefully you'll laugh more than anything, but it tells the whole Trump story. And the doc part gets me in real time.
Do you think this is it? Like, is this it when it comes to the Trump story, the whole severed head discussion? Do you think you got it all out?
I think I got it all out, but I realize this photo will be with me the rest of my career. Like wherever I go, I'll probably have to give sort of like a mention or a nod to it, but I'm not going to like make it my act. I mean, my act is always fluid. It's like, whatever is going on. But I'm so glad that I got to make this movie because I made a stand-up comedy special that nobody would buy, nobody in TV or streaming. I'm totally blacklisted. So then my publicist got it into South by Southwest. And then Fathom Events got it, and it's gonna be shown July 31st in 700 theaters across the U.S. So one night, one showing only.
Okay.
So you go to fathomevents.com, put my name in the search engine, and then your zip code, and the theaters around you pop up. But it's a controversial film. I mean, I don't hold back at all.
Well, let's just tell people because a lot of people might not know what you did.
What?
She
Everybody
does.
knows
She
the
didn't
picture.
know.
Everybody
She did
knows
that
the
for a whole
crazy
hour last time she was
redhead.
here.
Just a picture.
Envy, you're crazy.
We have a zillion new
You
listeners.
sound crazy.
We have a zillion new listeners. There was a picture
Envy,
that
she just told this story last year on the Breakfast Club.
I know, but we have way more stations from there, just in
My
case.
God.
Now I'm going to be at the Academy Awards probably. I'm going to get a
Yes.
lifetime achievement at least.
Well, I do want to say, and telling what happened, it is a great story of resilience.
Thank
And
you.
your documentary,
Thank
because
you.
what it does show is that you were blacklisted. You had to go overseas.
Yeah.
Why
to
was
do
she
your
blacklisted?
comedy
Tell them why, Yee.
and promote yourself. It's for taking a picture.
I
With,
took a very innocent, covered by the First Amendment photo
Correct.
of myself holding a mask of Donald Trump. Hold on. Trump. Sorry, it's hard for
With
me not to
ketchup on
vomit
it.
We
when
got
I
you.
say that. With ketchup all over it. And then the Trump folks put it in what I call the Trump wood chipper. Now, I will say when I was making the documentary part, even I didn't know that the photo went global that day. So we get to show how
Well, it's this
it was
thing called
in
the internet,
newspapers.
Kathy.
That's right.
Yeah, we
But
got
it was
spread
in
fast.
newspapers in every language, in Chinese, Arabic, French, everywhere. So then they tried to associate me with ISIS, that I had joined ISIS. And I'm sorry to say there are people that believe that to this day, which is very bizarre.
Did your mother really think you were in the club?
My mother watches something called Fox News. It's a little embarrassing. And yes, she totally took Sean Hannity's side.
And she thought you was in Club Al Qaeda?
She thought I was in Al Qaeda. She kept saying that. Why did you join Al Qaeda? But I'm actually glad I got that to put that scene in because my beloved mother, 99 years old, God love her, has unfortunately fallen into dementia. So I'm actually really glad we got that scene because that was really Maggie. That was like 10 days after the picture 2 years ago. And it was Maggie being Maggie. And of course, she had to give me some crap and, take the other side because that's what moms do.
Question, do you really care about being in Hollywood? Like, you make so much money on the road, I would think. Why do you care about, like, Hollywood, people calling you back? And
Because
doing
when
movie roles?
when you're blacklisted, you can't tour. You're unemployable, you're uninsurable, and because of the president and the Department of Justice, so never happened. So that's why I really felt, look, I funded this movie myself. I don't know
Right.
if it's going to get distribution or if it's going to be seen by tens of people or what, but I think it's an important message to get out there.
I agree. So part of what I was saying about the story of resilience is showing you going through so much, being detained at every airport,
Oh, so scary.
which could potentially have you miss a show or be
I
late.
didn't miss any shows, but it scared the heck out of me because they take your phone and they take your SIM card and they take your passport. And it was really important that I got to explain that in the documentary because a lot of people think they can't do that. They did it at LAX, they did it at JFK, they did it, at every airport overseas.
Do they still do that now?
Oh, yes. So if you guys think that they can't, do something like that or take your phone or your devices, they can. So it actually just happened to a friend of mine in Toronto. So it's like game on, right? So all the times you thought like, oh no, if I call this attorney or if I explain myself, that's all over in the era of Trump. So I still don't know what's on my passport to this day. So I filed 2 Freedom of Information Acts, and I want to find out I was on the no-fly list.
Terrorists, I'm sure.
Right?
Something light
Just
like
a
that.
garden variety terrorist.
Yeah, that's
Another Irish-American
Yeah.
white lady with red hair terrorist. And so that was just weird because they look at you like, you're going to blow up a building. And I was like, no, I'm just going to do a great job at the show. And they don't like jokes, by the way. Let me just say, that's what I learned. When you're detained,
can
do not
imagine.
try to be funny. Do not try. No jokes.
What's your best bit you did in the while
Oh
you
my
were
God.
detained?
First of all, one time I was detained in, I think it was like Stockholm. And the only time out of every time I was detained, and I was detained in every single country, and there was another guy in there. And he was so much smarter than I because I just turned to him and I couldn't resist. I go, what are you in for? And he looked at me like, I am not talking to you. I've seen the picture. I know what you're capable. I am not. And I swear to God, I was like, sir. Like, he just wouldn't even look at
That's
me.
funny.
Good
Smart
for
man.
him. Good for him. He was smart.
Smart
Yeah.
man.
You would
He
think
got
at
out
least-
faster than you did.
You would think
Yeah.
y'all want to pass the time while
Oh,
y'all
he
in
left
there.
way earlier than I did.
See,
He
that's
was like
why.
in a taxi going wherever he was going. And I'm like, what? What did I do? I thought it was a good closer.
You know what's interesting though? Trump has gotten progressively worse. So whatever you thought about him 2 years ago, it's confirmed now. You would think people would see that picture and be like,
People are.
I want to cut his head off too.
Well, there's a great line where Jim Carrey says, it's not like half of the country hasn't imagined it. And I was like,
Right.
oh, thank you for saying that. I mean, I'm not promoting violence, obviously,
Yeah.
but I am promoting mask buying. I mean, have a little fun with a mask. It's harmless. But yeah, it was, when I took that photo, it was like pre-Me Too and pre-Weinstein and stuff. But I was trying to make that statement.
Mm-hmm.
Like all those 8 years of the Obama pictures with the noose and Michelle as the monkey. And I thought, don't people get it? Like it's like the turnabout time. And so,
But that was wrong too, though.
of course, that's why I did
yeah,
it. That's
yeah.
why I did it, because I felt like that kind of went under the radar with a lot of white
Mm-hmm.
people. Like, oh, well, the crazy uncle sent it to me, but whatever. And I was like, no, that's not good. And so, turns out America was really pissed there was a black president, like really, really pissed.
Yeah.
And so, I didn't know how bad it was, but I mean, I'm sure you guys saw the press conference yesterday with the freshmen and stuff. And I love that
Yes.
stuff. I was like, ladies, take to the microphone and tell it like it is. Because we are shirts or skins right now, people. We are shirts and skins.
Pick a
We
side.
can't be in the middle.
Yeah.
Cannot be in the middle.
You said on the special that you don't ever learn your lesson.
I'm
Is that
Kathy
true?
Griffin, and I never learned my lesson. Of course I don't.
Ever? You had to learn something from this.
I mean, I'm always trying to be. I have a dream someday of being shy and demure. That's my dream. It's never going to happen. But I hope to one day wake up and be a shy, demure flower.
No way.
Instead, I'm just a $2 hooker having fun. I love just telling my dick jokes and making people laugh. But yeah, I mean, I haven't, I don't have a day of paid work ahead of me the rest of my life, and it kills me. So I want to go back on the road. I want to go back on television. And more importantly, the president shouldn't decide what you guys watch or see or anything. But luckily, you can't stop people from buying tickets. Thank God
You got like
for
5
touring.
dates right here.
That's right.
So none of those shows are paid?
No, I'm paying for everything. I'm like $1 million in the hole
Hold
for
on.
this movie.
Okay, I'm confused. So you're promoting yourself.
Oh, yes.
You're booking venues and promoting yourself. Nobody.
Yes.
Right, and people are buying tickets.
Yes. In fact, the boys
Oh.
at Live Nation are
Got
not
you.
having me anymore because about halfway through the tour, as I became more, quote, toxic, I actually started four-walling my own shows. So I would just wire $250,000 to Radio City, and they called and they said, who do you think you are? And I said, well, my money is as good as anybody else's. And so I've really pissed off just about everybody possible in Hollywood.
Who was on your side? Is anybody on your side?
Oh, gosh.
Alex Baldwin, you said.
Alec Baldwin texted me, and he said that he and Lorne Michaels wanted me to do the season premiere of Saturday Night Live, and then it didn't happen. So
Why do you think it didn't happen?
I don't think Lorne's a fan. I don't think he's like
It probably
the most...
wasn't Alec Baldwin's. It was probably out of his hands.
That's what I think too. Like I think Alec was trying to be a pal, and he couldn't like talk Lorne into it, or maybe it came from the head of NBC. I mean,
Or
you
the
know,
president.
That's right.
People-
That's right.
Yeah.
He's got some kind of relationship with NBC, right? With the whole.
Celebrity Apprentice.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, how can we break into Mark Burnett's house? I want to see those tapes. You know those tapes.
I don't want
are
to break into
somewhere.
anyone's house now. That might be
let's
illegal.
get a
What, a
Facebook
little
page.
hanger, like some sort of a.
Let's get a
do that.
Facebook
He's gotta
page.
have a- come on, who's a hacker? Who's
Let's
a hacker?
organize a group. Like
Thank
you know how
you.
to storm in Area 51?
We'll go to what? Yes.
Yeah, we can organize
We
a
can
Facebook
do it
page.
there, and
Yeah.
then Burning Man, and then finally we hack in.
Boom.
I got ideas.
Now you wear the blue dress throughout the whole tour. That's
The
symbolic
dress.
for you.
Yes, I'm very excited. The Smithsonian has asked for it. I'm very
Really?
flattered. That's right. So things are sort of getting a little bit better, and I think you're right. It's because the atrocities that we see Trump committing, like he's not playing. Like when he says he's going to do something horrible, he does it. And all these, quote, norms we thought were laws, we need to make them laws. You know, I mean, he's just ignoring everything. And let's face it, it's all about race, it's all about misogyny, and it's all about the browning of America, and he can't handle it. And these Trumpers are invasion of the body snatchers. They're like pod people. You know, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I can't talk to them. Have you guys heard the latest QAnon theory? You know about these people?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, they flood my timeline. And number one, they think I'm a pedophile and that I do child trafficking with Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
You know,
Sounds very reasonable.
Very reasonable. And they also think that JFK Jr. is going to come back from the dead and be the new vice president instead of Mike Pence. So they now go to these rallies with a MAGA hat and then a cutout of JFK Jr., a rather well-known Democrat, by the way, but they think that he's secretly a Republican.
Really?
So this is what I'm dealing with.
Oh my
gosh. This isn't like...
I've never even heard of that.
Oh, yes.
Thank God.
I know all this world now. I had to learn all the Nazis on YouTube and all the, you know, Twitter people.
Kathy,
and...
why are you giving that any energy or any attention? Like,
Jeez,
why?
yeah.
Like, why?
Because the FBI came to my house the day I filmed the special, and they did a no-knock. And they came over, which means bad. Like, usually they call if they think it's like kind of a threat. They call my attorney if they think it's kind of a bad threat. When they just come over without saying we're coming over, the day I filmed the comedy part of the film, they came over and they said that, you remember the MAGA bomber, the pipe bomber guy, Staser Sayek? So they had captured him, and they had told me prior that I was already on his kill list. But they came over in person to say, we are here to inform you, Miss Griffin, that he shared his kill list with like-minded people. And I said, hi, fellas. Oh, by the way, the FBI also never gets my jokes because they've been to my house so much. The FBI has been great. I'm not anti-government. And the FBI comes in and I go like this, Norm, from Cheers. And they never laugh. They never laugh.
They come over all the time?
Yes. They're in my house more than my family. And so I'm like, come on in, Joey. Hey, left eye. And so I said, well, what should I do? And they said, well, it's an open investigation. I go, look, you guys are here. And they read me this letter called A Duty to Warn. And I remember the female agent was shaking, the paper's shaking, and I'm thinking, okay. And I go, you know, I have a performance tonight. And I said, you know, am I going to get shot on stage? Which is the way the Trumpers want to kill me the most. They want to shoot me on stage, cut my head off, and then put my head up my you-know-what, and then shoot me again. They're very direct. Okay. And they said, can you open your mailbox 10 feet away? I said, I'm 5'3". How long do you think my arms are?
You're not Miss Incredible?
Right? Yeah. And I want to get one of those grabbers from As Seen on TV, like the old lady has with the grabber, and then MacGyver, like a second one. So I don't know what to do. Every time I open my mailbox, I just go kaboom and hope for the best.
It is stressful, though, because we get to see you on the road, and we get to see how you actually react behind the scenes, because you get up and you tell jokes, there's sold-out audiences, but then when you're alone, clearly there's a lot going on, and we see how upsetting.
Because the first time I was detained, it really threw me. Because like I said, when they take your phone and your SIM card and your passport, and they don't say anything. And I admit, I never had the, you know what, to say, like, what's on the passport. And I'm still dying to know. I knew it wouldn't be good. But, I just like tried to stay silent and tried to just get out of there because I had a plane to catch or a show to get to. And I remember, though, when I went from LAX and the first place I landed was Sydney, Australia. And there's a scene in there that's not pretty, but I'm sobbing and terrified to get off the plane because I know I'm going to be detained. And I was. And then I did my first show in Auckland, New Zealand, and I was on stage. Auckland, New Zealand, a Trumper finds me, buys a ticket, right? And he throws a ketchup bottle at my head so hard, I feel like the whisk past my hair.
Really?
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, it's one of my gays throwing flowers on stage. That is so touching. No, I mean, this guy would have killed me. Like, it was a ketchup bottle. So we got through so I had to pay for all the metal detectors and all the wands. And the tour grossed $4.4 million, so I'm very proud of that. But don't worry, I'm still unhireable and toxic. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
How did you heal from the trauma of all this, though? Did you go to, like, therapy or something?
Oh, yeah, therapy.
Okay.
I mean, at one point I was going 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what are you doing tomorrow, doctor? I'll be here.
How do you know your therapist's not a Trumper?
Oh, I asked him.
Okay.
Oh, it's like I open with that.
Okay.
I'm like, hi, who'd you vote for? I mean, I just can't even play anymore. And if you didn't vote, then we also have a problem. Yeah. If you're one of those like, burn your bust, I'm like, well, you busted. Okay, so you didn't vote, we have a problem.
So you had a lot of therapy?
A lot of therapy. And also, I mean, like, and this is corny, but like really, thank God for comedy. Thank God for comedy, because no matter what, I just lived for those shows. And overseas, they just ate it up because the audiences there were like, what is going on in your country? And so it was great doing the shows, and that kept me going. But it was a grind. And like I said, the airport stuff was scary. And there were a lot of incidents in the States, too. Like a guy pulled a knife on me in Houston, and I was playing like really beautiful halls. Like I played Carnegie here and Radio City and Houston. I think I played either Symphony Hall or the Opera House. And it's on YouTube. You can see it. There's some guy and he's wearing a Trump shirt and he's waving a knife all over the place.
Wow.
And
how'd he get the knife in? You got to...
He was outside. He was
Okay,
outside.
Got you.
Yeah.
Your assistant also quit during the tour.
Yes.
What happened?
It was a rough tour, so maybe it was too much for him, but the timing wasn't great. It was like 2 a.m. in Vienna. And so then my boyfriend and tour manager, don't judge, we were, on our own. And then there were, various means of security, which I don't discuss in detail because that's the first rule of security. But there was a lot. And so you just have to try to think of everything. It's like you never know where it's coming. I was actually giving a speech at Oxford about the First Amendment, and I didn't go to college. Oxford, Can you imagine? And so the driver dude that was taking me from the airport to the hotel, he said, I recognize you from the picture. And I said, well, first of all, let me just apologize for Trump. I'm really sorry. We're working on it. It's a whole thing with gerrymandering and the electoral college. I'm like trying to explain the whole thing. And he goes, well, I'm from Morocco. And I said, oh, God. I said, well, sorry about Trump saying, Africa is what whole countries. And he goes, he didn't say that. He's the best president the world has ever seen.
Wow.
And I go, sir, I don't know where you get your news, but honestly, he said that about Africa. And I go, and he thinks it's a country, not a continent. And then the guy says to me, and I was then with my assistant, and it was pouring down rain, so I'm sorry I couldn't run out and walk to the hotel. And he goes, if we were in Morocco, I would cut your tongue out right now.
He said that to you?
Damn.
Oh, yeah. So
Was he an Uber driver?
No, he was with Music Express.
Okay.
And I called the vice president, and I got him fired, but I also filmed it. And so
That's
I have
crazy.
learned to whip out that phone camera when necessary.
Now, with the agents, with any of these agents, do they ever say, look, we have to do this job, but we don't fuck with Trump either? Do any of the agents ever
they're all scared of him. Yeah, I think they're all scared of him. And by the way, scared of what? Like, he's so feckless, as they would say. Like, he's just a buffoon. Like, I think he's got dementia worse than my mom at this point.
Classic example of a bully. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and until somebody stands up
course.
to him and shows everybody that he's not as tough as he proclaims to be, then he's going to continue to bully people.
I know. But like every bully, he can't stand it when you step up to him.
Exactly.
So, I mean, he can't take the slightest joke. And also, I've known the guy off and on for like 25 years. And I call him the orange realtor. Like, I never thought he was going to be even like a local councilman, right? And now look what we ended up with. And then I love how they say the grown kids. Don Jr. is 45. Not a kid. He's got 5 kids himself. And now he's banging the chick from Fox. Remember? Yes.
Yeah.
So, all of them. And I lovingly call Eric Trump date rape because I just don't think any sex with him is consensual. Now, that's just my opinion.
Christ.
That is just my opinion as an artist, as a respected film star. A respected film
It's an
star.
observation. It's an observation.
A harmless observation. So, as you can see, I haven't learned my lesson.
I'm shocked Trump or the Trump administration hasn't shut down your fuck Trump merchandise.
Well, let him try.
Yeah.
And I have some new merchandise, by the way.
What you got?
I have T-shirts that have the First Amendment written on it. So when people try to tell me I violated the First
right
Amendment, one that says "Legends supporting legends" and coasters in honor of my mother who loves boxed wine that say "Tip it." And I call it my Kathy Griffin non-vulgar bundle because all of my other merchandise says "Fuck Trump," mugs, the whole thing.
Let's talk about the freedom of speech because you talk about a lot that in the movie a lot. The First Amendment. Is there really such thing as free speech? Because it seems to me in America, free speech comes with a cost.
Oh, absolutely. And people don't really know the parameters of it. So, obviously when I was under the investigation, they were, I kept asking my attorneys, did I break the law? No. Did I violate the First Amendment? No. I knew I hadn't because that amendment is my commodity. When you're in comedy, as I say, I don't know the other ones, but I know that first one wall to wall. And so I knew it was just a way for him to, what they do? They test the waters. He'll say one thing. I mean, it's like started with the Muslim ban. Now we got people in cages. And by the way, what about that video of Pence looking at those guys in cages and just folding his arms like, Goebbels and looking at them like,
Seemed like he was looking through them.
Right?
As opposed to looking
I mean,
at
that is unbelievable.
Inhuman.
Inhuman. That's right. So that's why I have no columns going after him or his so-called children. And what about Ivanka going to the G20 like she's the head of state?
Right.
Oh, that one. If you want to talk about nail polish, give her a call.
You know, the thing about free speech, right? Like, you can say whatever it is you want to say, but then people have the right to react however they want to react.
But you can't say fire in a theater. So that's the thing that I spend a lot of time kind of explaining to people. Like, I do understand the parameters. And so to say things that are outrageous or vulgar, that really is okay. But there is a reason that
you can't say bomb in the airport.
You can't say bomb in the airport. And by the way, there's a reason that violates the First Amendment, because people have been trampled historically for that. So when people were trying to tell me I violated the First Amendment, I was like, no. I'm merely offensive. But, you know, I also didn't do what they call a call to action. So, for example, after the screening on the 31st, in 700 theaters across the United States, fathomevents.com, I'm going to do a Q&A with a really, really great First Amendment attorney named Ted Boutros. And he's one of the people that I went to, and I wanted to confirm that this situation was historic. Because I think last time I was here, we talked about how, like, when it happened to Lenny Bruce, it was local PD, and when it happened to Jane Fonda, it was local PD. But this is the first time the feds have ever gone after a private citizen in this way, much less a female comedian who's 58. And he said, no, I looked it up. You're the first. So I said to him, did I even come close to violating the First Amendment? He said, no. And I said, what would have been violating the First Amendment? And he said, if you had done a specific call to action and said something to the effect of, you know,
go cut his head off.
These named people come to the White House with these firearms at this time, and I know how to get in the White House. Like, he went really, really far. So the good news about the First Amendment is it is really, really broad, but we do have to fight for it. And you're right. You have to take the bad with the good.
Have you tried to sue, though, since they put you on this list and it's so difficult to fly? Could you say, you know what?
Please give me a pro bono attorney, because I'm already about $500,000 into attorney fees. But I would love to sue for abuse of power, because that's what it is. But I'm happy for him to go to prison for anything.
Are there people who
TikTok, Jeffrey Epstein?
Is that not the problem? Like, the problem is they keep calling him racist, right? It's
well,
like,
he is.
Yeah, but who cares? Like, that's stating the obvious at this point.
Right.
Like, he's a criminal.
He's a racist criminal.
Yeah.
But it does matter when you're president of the United States.
It doesn't.
That affects,
Clearly
That's right.
it doesn't.
does
And
matter.
the way the rest of the world sees us.
Right.
And then what about the Moroccan guy?
Right.
What is he reading?
I have
4chan,
no idea what he's
16chan,
looking at.
32chan?
Instead of calling him a racist, they should call him a traitor.
Yeah.
They should call him a criminal, because
Yeah.
those are the things that's going to affect the election in 2020.
Yeah.
The people who voted for him in 2016, they knew he was racist.
That's
Then
right.
it's
And
not
what
gonna
about the
affect the
Senate?
2020.
It's all about the down ballot, too. We got to get rid of McConnell. We got like 7 Senate seats to flip, and it's a lot, but we can do it. We can do it. We can do it.
Are there people who come to you behind the scenes and like, I support you, I just can't do it openly?
Oh, all the time.
I don't even like those type of people. I don't even want them around me.
I know. I'm like, call me when you can, because I really could have used it. You know?
Wow.
And still I could use a little helping hand like anybody else. But I'm so, I'm glad that I got to have this movie be received at South by Southwest, then to make it longer into an actual docu-comedy. And that was a great learning experience. I never was like in like an editing bay for days and days learning how to do it, and it was really great. And now it's going to be in 3 film festivals. It's going to be Thursday night here in New York at the 51 Fest. I'm going to do the keynote with Tina Brown. It's going to be at Outfest in Los Angeles, and then the Michael Moore Traverse City Film Festival, and then the 31st is the one where it's going to be across America. And I'm just telling everyone to have Facebook event pages, because you want to go to this film with people that are like-minded, if you know what I'm saying.
Please.
You want to make sure, like, you know who you're sitting next to, okay? Let's all have fun and a good laugh.
And you're booking and promoting all these shows yourself. This is you. You are the promoter.
This is a grind.
Wow.
But I like it.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
get all the
that's the
profits,
one
too.
upside is I was like, it's show business. So I've always enjoyed that part of it, but now that I was forced to learn it, I actually like to.
Now, how's the media coming around for you as far as you going out to do press? What's the schedule?
Oh, honey,
like?
I'm banned. I am so banned. This is the last show I'm allowed on. And I could be banned after this. I understand it could be banned. It's not personal.
You're okay with us.
Okay, good.
All the time.
All right, good. I'm going to go on Jimmy Kimmel. And
Really?
I'm going to go on
Go
Kimmel.
ahead, Kimmel. Thank
Jimmy Kimmel.
Good for you for having some balls,
Seth
Kimmel.
Meyers hasn't banned me. And then none of the morning shows, Today's Show, Good Morning America, all said no. The Talk, The View, no. By the way, I'm re-banned from The View. I have been banned
you
and
were banned from The
rebanned
View.
for like 30 years
What were you
on
banned from the
View.
view before?
Oh, it's always something. Like in the old days, I'd say something to piss off Barbara, and now I'm probably just too obnoxious, or I may have said the F word last time I was on there. Because when I think of Trump, I think of the F word.
Yeah, that'll do
It's
it.
like it's his first name.
Yeah.
You know.
Have you been paying attention to the Democratic debates? Who do you
Of
like?
course.
Who do you like?
Okay, like I said, first of all, down ballot, down ballot, down ballot. So my first speech is the presidential election is is fascinating and I'm in, but it is those down ballot people that will probably affect your daily life more so. Your local state representatives, your Congress representatives, your United States senators, your attorney generals, your circuit court judges. And so it just takes like a half an hour to pick all that stuff, right? You guys have a great new AG, Letitia James.
Yeah,
fantastic, thank God, because Schneiderman got me too. Can you believe that crap? We were making moves, and then he gets me too. So anyway, I am Kamala.
Okay.
And I do not like this argument that, well, she just doesn't have a chance because she's too much of a California person and this and that. She was the AG for 40 million people in the state of California. She's never lost a race. I also love Warren. And I am just going to say it. I need those two old white guys to just
sit their ass down.
I'm sorry. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate and all the bots are going to come after me, but Bernie hasn't passed a bill his entire career. And I don't like those busters. I don't like those guys that say, if he doesn't win, I'm not voting at all.
Right.
And Joe Biden, is like Mr. Gaff, and he was vice president. Be happy. But I want to see a female president before I die. I don't care if I'm on life support, if there's a tracheotomy, if I'm food through a tube. I want a female president before I die.
Well, Kathy got to leave, guys. So
Oh man, she got to leave right now.
she
she
got to
has
go right
other
now. She got to go
press
to
to do.
Good Day New York.
Big movie star.
I just wanted to know-
Big movie star now.
I just wanted to know how are you and Kris Jenner friends? It seemed like y'all wouldn't get along at all.
Oh, Kris Jenner?
Yeah.
I have to because she's, killed people. I mean, I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure one time I was driving to Vegas and I saw her with a shovel and a Rolls Royce, and I haven't seen Lamar Odom since.
Wow.
Now, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
She, I can't prove she's killed. No, I get along with her because, for 10 years, I just called them dirty whores. And then they were mad at me. And finally, they just came around and they were like, oh my God, you're like kidding. I go, yeah. I went there for Christmas Eve.
Really?
Can you believe it? I walk in, the first one I see is Pobs, right? Kanye. And so I call him Pobs because he thinks he's Pablo Picasso. Just play along. Okay. So he has Pablo on his sleeves. So and they used to be my next door neighbors, which was during the whole Trump thing. My next door neighbors being Kim and Kanye was delicious. You can't write it. And so I went there for Christmas Eve and it was fantastic, and it was like a super crazy mix of people, which I'm all about. And it was just. That proves anything. Like I can.
Did they make you feel welcomed?
Yes.
And you said
Really?
Kris Jenner gave you great advice.
She gave me the best advice. She goes, apologize and get over it. And then she just, she was like hanging there, and she actually came over for dinner the night of the photo. And that was like honestly just a coincidence.
Were
But
the cameras there?
no.
Okay.
But
That'd have been great on the
exactly.
episode.
Oh God, more crime. No, she was actually counting her money. I was like, Kris, pay attention. And then printing some as well. She's got a printing machine. But no, they actually, they are the least of my worries. Like, once you've had the entire White House and Department of Justice come after you, the Kardashians are the least of my
Light work.
I even went up to the makeup one, Francine. What's her name? The blonde. What's her name?
Kylie?
Yeah, Kylie. And
Francine.
I can't keep track of all of them. I'm busy with the main three. I can't deal with Francine and Candle. Anyway, so I even made up with those two. And Francine's a billionaire with a B. Did you know that?
Yeah. Her name
is
Because of that
Kylie.
makeup. Kylie.
How do you get
I'm
Francine
sorry.
out of Kylie?
I can't remember their names. I'm focused on Chloe and Courtney, although I don't know what Courtney does.
Do you
To
feel
this day, I don't know what
Do you
she
feel
does.
awkward using ketchup in public now?
I'm afraid to. I'm afraid that someone from the government will see me using ketchup. I use it very sparingly.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Stick to the
Okay.
main.
You know me,
Well,
I'm
check
not
it
afraid
out.
of anything. That's my problem.
A hell of a story. We'll be out on the 31st of this month. Make sure you
Yes.
go check it out. Where can they see it?
Well, you can see it at 700 theaters. Go to fathomevents.com, put my name in the search engine, then your zip code, or text me. Are you ready? 312-584-3787. And I actually text back. How about that?
Give them the number one more time.
312-584-3787.
All right. Well, we appreciate you for joining us.
Oh, I love you guys. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
It's Kathy Griffin. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.